The following presentation was recorded at the NDS Public Conference in May 2022.
With the HD lanes and speed limit application. So I do have, I don't know, the guys online, you guys can see it. There is a demonstration set up in real life over there at a table. I will later in the lunch break maybe to try to pull out my phone and show it to you, also make a picture or a video. We don't know that, as I said, internet connection is not super good here. So, but anyways, let's go through what I'm showing, what we did. I also have a video that I'm be showing for the guys online, so probably not getting the good experience as the others here. But anyways, because it takes a little time, I'll show the video now, explain a little what we did, and to try to catch up some time because we just got the information. So basically, I told about this one already. Reference transport layers, you have seen this. Just to recap, that we have now implemented this. So you will see actually, you will see the following architecture. So we're gonna connect to two cloud services. So the first cloud service is from Navinfo, where we retrieve HD map lanes, the lane layer, and we're getting this into the car. And we also from TomTom get an SD map speed limits based on roads. We also retrieve them in the car. They're both tile-based services. And what we're using internally is this NDS.Live over HTTP REST, which is what we call SWAG, because Swagger is the name for OpenAPI 3. So we just added that to make it a 0 over Swagger. So that's the name for it. If you want to use it, go there, check it out. We haven't implemented this, so we're fetching actually HD map lanes. We're fetching speed limits, and we then do also have an in-car communication. So we have Android Automotive OS 11 running on a Raspberry Pi 4. We connect this to a Linux Raspberry Pi 3, so which is running Raspberry Pi OS. And for this communication, we're using NDS.Live over some IP, which is not yet so much ready that we would put it on the NDS EVs space in GitHub. So it's currently a POC first. That's on our company GitHub. That one uses the Covisa vSum IP. So credits mainly go out to this project for most of the or all of the communication over some IP. We actually only, as I said, we put a wrapper around it, so that makes it more convenient to transport NDS content over it. Then we're gonna have, so on the left side you can see here, okay, we have this application. It basically has a map viewer, so you'll be seeing something, HD map viewer. It has a map matcher because we have two sources, right? We have HD lanes and we have road-based speed limits, so we kind of like have to match them. So it does that, and then it has two clients and local caches for data, one for Navinfo, one for TomTom. It's not shared cache or anything, so basically every service in our implementation has its own cache. You can of course implement this differently if you want to. We decided for the simplicity and not to mingle any data, to simply put them in separate stores, caches. And we have that car data service, which basically publishes on a, I think, 5 hertz frequency, publishes the current car position. So it basically, what it does, it plays back for the demo, it plays back waypoints that we actually collected, not via the car, but clicking them in the map viewer of LiveLab that we see. Okay, we just clicked along, and to make it smooth, we clicked along, of course, the lanes that we want to drive. So there's no real map matcher to GNS position or anything currently implemented, because there was simply no time for it. There are better experts out there than we are, but to showcase it, it's very simple map matching. So the data set and how we use it. So the coverage is the A81 motorway of Germany, so parts of the A81. These are available from Navinfo. We're getting the lane layer and the lane geometry layer. They get fed to the map viewer, of course, to simply visualize them. And we need also the lane geometry layer here for the map matcher, and the TomTom smart layer tiles for road geometry layer is needed for matching, basically together with the lane geometry that go to the map matcher. Then the characteristics layer is also used for the map matcher, basically says, is this motorway? Is this a ramp or whatever, kind of like some basic additional information for the map matcher. And the road rules layer, there's where the actual speed limit resides. That is then used by the map viewer to simply show us, okay, here's a speed limit, display it. And yeah, some details on what we're gonna do with it later on. So it is planned that, so of course the source code will be made fully available for NDS members. We still have to do some cleanup, some refactoring, some additional documentations, because it was like during the last week and weekend, it was really yeah, trying to get things running, especially on the device and all of that stuff, that took us a little longer than we expected, but it's usually the case for probably all of the guys that are making demonstrations up to a certain point and so on. It has yet to be decided by the NDS steering committee if the sources will also be made available for NDS.Live evaluation users, something we can't tell you right now. So somebody has to make a decision. That decision, I would simply say, hey, stay tuned for this. In the future, either it will be there or not. But such decisions will be probably made in June when the next steering committee meeting is. We plan to add and extend for the functionality in an upcoming NDS.Live hackathon that we want to do by end of the year, just also like a heads up for anybody interested. So it's going to be like in October, November. We're going to think about hopefully really an on-site meeting then, depending on COVID situation, but it's probably going to be like a hybrid thing, of course. And we're going to then use that to extend it and maybe add some more services to it, maybe display some more stuff, whatnot. I mean, that would be interesting. So some details, what you can see here, yeah, it's built with C++ and Qt. It uses OpenGL. It's been basically built by 3 people with a lot of heart, sweat, and tears. And it does not use, for the ones familiar with Android Automotive OS and the whole fuzz and buzz around VMS, the Vehicle Map Service, it does not use that, because we figured out by analyzing, doing these analysis, that this is actually, we don't need to do this because NDS.Live gives you the same kind of interfaces to it and so on. So the specification of VMS for the public is rare to minimum to header files with some comments. And as I said, it does not use real GNSS data yet. And we have added waypoints playback is generated with a map viewer extension. And it also runs on the sample map. Right, so this is just simply a configuration, so we can later on, because we will, when we publish the source code, of course, we will not make available like all the login credentials to the services that we're using right now. So we will then only provide it that anybody can run it on the NDS island, and it drives around the island, and that's basically it. It will not have speed limits then unless we add them to the NDS islands. And but yeah, for now, that's for me. Quickly, I'll hand over now to Anton, who wants to quickly talk about the share that Mapscape and Navinfo has in this demonstration. Here you go.
Thank you very much for this short time that we have to explain a little bit what we contributed to this demonstration.
Oh, wait, sorry. So I turned it off. Sorry.
Thanks again for turning it on and giving me this time to present the small part that we provided to this demonstrator. Mapscape, Navinfo, we're a Navinfo company. So what we do is we compile navigation data from major data suppliers in basically any format that we can handle, and we compile that for leading OEMs and system developers. We do that in NDS Classic and also are very active in NDS.Live at the moment. We operate at ASPICE level 3 and for all our supporting processes and development processes. What we do for NDS.Live, Navinfo has many services, also, for example, to support anonymization for data collectors to make sure that they are GDPR compliant, but you're mostly interested in the NDS.Live part. We have some proof of concept services available based on OSM data, based on our own data, and also in different variations. So with road network available with lane data, but also data that can be meshed on underlying services. For this presentation, for this demonstration, the HD lane service is made available for Fabian, and he is going to show that in his demonstration. If there are any questions about our services, or do you also wish to make use of those, then well, please contact us for that. Okay. I'll stop talking because you're most interested in the demonstration anyway.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so then next up, I said I'm going to show a video of quickly of the. Wait a second. It's the same. So is this still shared? Screen sharing still on? Okay. So here we go. So what you basically see here, we're driving along. So we're driving along the HD lanes. We on the right lower one, you see the speed limit showing. So we have like a 1 or 2 minute video. You can see later on the device here that we're actually driving the long stretch on the A84. So what I'm trying to do now, I don't know if you can, I don't know if there's any good, if I can share the video here then later on, but anyways, what you see is basically we're going a little up. So it has also the height information. Now on the left side, you've seen there is like a guardrail. So it's basically also the logical and barrier information, but only in 2D at the moment. So the dotted brown line on the very right is basically the end of the road. So there is after a, so we're driving on the rightmost lane, one lane or more on the right, there's the shoulder lane, and then there's the end of the road. This is what the brown dotted line is showing. And we can see, I think it's coming up soon, there should be also an exit. You see sometimes like camera going up and down a little because of some of the waypoints. So here you can see, for instance, an exit that splits off. So you can see, I don't know if you can see it good on the video, that we do have, like you can see the center line, we're following that center line on the right. And we have now also, that's again another one. I think it's a little bit cut together, that video. So we have another exit here. You can see it's basically then it's really sample data of the A81. I think it ends basically at the ramps then there. And yeah, and then we have like a merger coming in across. And so yeah, it's basically nothing super new. You have seen this before. The only thing what we're excited about is that basically this will be also the source code and everything will be available for NDS members to play around with and extend it and all of that stuff, because it's because usually if somebody shows that, of course that's their proprietary stuff. Everyone is like, yeah, okay, they showed something, but can we reuse it? No, we can. But here as an NDS member, you can simply reuse it, add some more data to it, for instance, landmarks and other things. So unfortunately, when cutting the video, we didn't see many more speed limits, but we can see here on site then when it's a longer stretch, because yeah, it's German Autobahn doesn't have too many speed limits. So, but when talking about speed limits, I think coming up next is a demo from here where we can see more speed limits in town. And yeah, so that's it. I will later on, since we're a little bit under time pressure, we'll later on show everything over there at the stand that we have here on site. So it's a little bit extra for the guys that came here. that you can really see it in live. And yeah, for the ones online, the video must be enough. So, okay, that's it. Thank you very much. And
Thank you for watching. Visit our website for news on NDS at nds-association.org.